Welcome to the Lotco Business Podcast, a show all about helping you as a retailer, brand, or creative understand the actual business side of running your business. I offer straightforward, practical advice about the nitty-gritty of making money from your creative passion. We will be covering bite-sized business and marketing lessons, as well as interviews with experts and trailblazers in the fashion, homewares, and design industries. My name is Melissa Robbins. I'm a business coach, colour-loving, non-coffee drinking Melburnian. Let's get into it. Hello and welcome to today's podcast. My name is Melissa Robbins. I am a product-based business coach here to help you in your product business, sell more of your product, make more profit in your business, and build a business that's sustainable for you and your lifestyle and the version of success that is important to you as well. Now, today I want to talk to you about websites, and this is something that I have been working on with lots of different clients and also within my membership and my roadmap program. We're always looking at the website and the numbers and the analytics. And one of the ways that people sell their product is often on their own website. So selling direct to consumer on an e-commerce website. Or also I work with lots of retail stores who also have that online version of their physical store selling online as well. And so this is an important area that I know lots of people, they either don't understand or lots of people know that you need to have a website and you spend a bit of time on it, but sometimes the tech is a little bit of an issue, or sometimes there's some barriers in terms of design elements or the system that you have, and there's just lots of different factors that are involved. One of the things that I look at is when I first meet a new brand, when I'm starting to work with a new store, going in and look at their analytics. And I've got a whole episode on analytics and what numbers you should be looking at. I did do it a little while ago though now. So what this episode is all about is the specific analytics of your conversion rate and what that means in your online store conversion rate. I have a whole program on it to help you with your conversion rate, but it's one of those things that I don't know if everyone understands what it even means and what they should even be looking for and what are some, bigger picture things that they should be focusing on, as opposed to I hear a lot of people say to me, I just need to do some Facebook ads and I'll do Facebook ads and everything will be okay. And Facebook ads are a great strategy to get traffic to your website. However, you don't want to send traffic if your website isn't converting very highly because you're wasting your money. So the more you can tweak and change your conversion rate percentage and some other numbers we're going to look at today, the more it can just help every person that you do send to your website, they've got a much greater chance of buying and spending money and converting and actually checking out in the first place and in the full process. All right, now I'm going to talk about this in relation to Shopify in particular, because that is the one website host that I see most often and that I believe is the best platform for e-commerce stores. Now, I know some people believe the pricing is a barrier, and it is for some people. However, I do believe you need to invest in something in your business, and that is a good investment in your business, having a Shopify store, having that spending on $29 US a month on your website is a good investment. When I think the value of having the Shopify website, you're going to get more people check out and actually finish purchasing than you are a different website, because it's just a much more user-friendly. The customer experience is smoother, in my personal opinion, when I check out and buy from Shopify stores. All right, so what we want to look at today is the online store conversion. So if you are going into your Shopify dashboard, and I'm just going to open one in front of me now so I can actually explain it in specifics. So we're going to go, when you open up your homepage for Shopify, you will land on this section on the menu that on the side that says Home, Orders, Products, Customers, Content, Analytics, Marketing, Discounts, and so on. What we're going to look at today is just you click on the analytics and it gives you that broad overview. When you click on that, you can either you can select the date, whether it's year to date, whether it's the last week, 7 days, 30 days, and so on, last month, last year, quarters. You can check specifically Black Friday time of year as well. All those sort of things are available on the top left and the date section. So I'm just going to look at the one I'm looking at right now, which is year to date. Now you click on that apply and apply that section, and it's going to compare to the same time last year. So you've actually got something to compare to. So when you see numbers, percentages up or down, that's what it's doing. It's comparing it to the same time frame. All right, so what we're going to do is on the bottom left, and again, I'm looking at a desktop menu on Shopify just to help you figure out where it is. Obviously, on mobile, it's going to look different. It's going to stack it in different ways. But what I'm looking at now is analytics, and on the second block down, after you've got total sales, you've got online store conversion rate. Now, most people just look at that top one and can see that, whole number, which the particular website I'm looking at right now is 1.02%. Now, that's pretty normal for an e-commerce store and depends on what your product is, and the range of products that you have depends on what your average conversion rate is going to be. And between 1 to 3% is very normal for most e-commerce stores. Some stores that say people take longer to make that purchasing decision, like furniture and art and other big price point products, they are often a lower conversion rate, whereas something that is very specific or has a really unique selling point is really different, like my client Clipster, who has the hat clip. Her conversion rate was quite high because once people find her, they're looking for her and they find her, they want that product, they're going in to check out, and there's not much other stuff on the website to confuse them and to crowd that conversion rate as well. So for hers was much higher. So I'm talking like 5 to, well, at one stage, I know, Kelly, if you're listening, I know that one stage she had a 12% conversion rate, which was crazy, but also possible. Now, within that online store conversion rate, you've got 3 numbers underneath, which is what I want to just talk about today, because this is where, based on what these numbers are, and is what you should be looking at or focusing on your website to make some tweaks and changes. Now, the one underneath is added to cart. So if you cannot even get people to add to cart in the first place, then that is the first part of your problem. You need to be able to get people to add to cart in the first place. And then, of course, they're going to drop off a little bit. So they're going to reach, some of them are going to reach checkout, some of them aren't. And then some of them are going to go fully through the checkout and convert. So your online conversion rate is that the main number it gives you is that sessions converted. But we want to look at also, what are the added to cart? What is who's reached checkout? Where is the biggest drop-off? If one of the websites I was looking at the other day, someone who was new, I looked at hers and her add to cart rate was 1.74, her reach checkout was 1.26, and her conversion was 0.60. So not great. But you could see that the biggest problem was that no one was adding to cart in the first place. So, that was the part of the problem. Of course, it's going to drop down to, lower numbers than that add to cart rate. But if your add to cart rate isn't even high enough, that's the first point of call of where you need to focus. And as an example of an average or a good one, ideally it would be around 6 to 10% or 8 to 11, I think I've heard before as well. And so that if you can get 6% of the people who are landing on your website to actually add to cart, then of course some are going to drop off. And then of course they might drop off again to actually convert. But at least if you're getting them to add to cart in the first place, then you've got, something else to work on, and you can work on that strategy between your checkout and your, what your shipping rate is, or what visibility you give to, how fast your shipping speed is, or whether you have returns, or, what are the sort of journey you have once someone has reached checkout. Or if you have, let's say, I much prefer a side cart, which is what Shopify allows you to do as well, as opposed to a pop-up or a drop-down cart, because the side cart is, again, it's that familiarity with people who buy online a lot, that that's coming and that you can then check out from there if you wanted to. So, how does yours work? What does your website do in between that add to cart and checkout? What information do you have for your customer? And so you can sort of make some tweaks and changes there. And I'm not going to go into how to do all that right here today, but I just wanted to talk about what it looks like, and for you to go and check out what yours is, so you can start to see what you need to tweak and change. Now, if you don't have a high enough add to cart in the first place, the things that you need to be doing are looking at how to clearly improve that. One of them, and I've got a whole program on this, 5-day boost your conversion rate. I've got a whole checklist. I know lots of people have different, things that you can do to go through and work on boosting your conversion rate. The program that I have is just a really simple 5 days each day you do something different and it shows you how to do it, as opposed to just telling you what you need to do. It goes through and shows you how to do it, because I know that's one of the barriers that a lot of my clients were having, that they know what they should, get told to do, but they don't actually know how to do it. So that's what I do in that program. All right, so get to add to cart in the first place. Things that you should be looking at, like how clear is your navigation? How easy do you make it for people to find what they need? Do you have a bestsellers tab? I always love a bestsellers tab because it's one of the first things I look at when I go to a website as well. How much information do you have on your product pages? Do you make it really clear and easy to show what is your product, how it's used, what are the different features of that product, what are the benefits of the product, how can it transform, do you use an emotional language in your product descriptions, how good are your product photos, how many reviews do you have? All of those things contribute to your added to cart. And then also, even the color of your buttons, the position of your buttons, the reviews, whether you've got reviews on your main homepage as well as on the particular product section. If you've got a product that has that really, the information that people need to make a decision, do you have the dimensions on there? Do you have a close-up of the fabrication? I'm looking for a pair of trackies the other day and I'm like, I need to know whether they've got the fluff on the inside. Like a crazy, silly, stupid thing. But like so many of the websites don't tell me, and I've got no idea if I'm buying them online, what the fabric looks like on the inside. Is it fluffy or is it, is it brushed or unbrushed? No one's telling me that. And it was something that I'm like, I need to know this information. Please give me some more information about what they are when I'm buying these very particular pair of trackies or trying to find ones that I like. Anyway, do you have other trust factors on your website, like where you're located, your phone number or an email contact or your returns policy? Do I have to search for it or do you make it obvious? Do you show me what your shipping is up front? That having clear and obvious shipping rates on your main homepage a number of times, and again, I go on about this in my other podcasts and in my program, but you need to tell me more than once what my shipping is before I get to checkout. So I wouldn't be adding to cart unless I've got some information about all that sort of stuff before I even get to that, section of converting or not. I need to know some information before I even add to cart in the first place. And then within the Shopify, on your little dashboard, there's also a little sort of note view report on the top right of that little section. And if you go on that view report, what you can see is you can just, again, decide when you want your report to showcase to you. Is it like the year to date? What section do you want to compare? Do you want to look at a monthly view? The one I'm looking at right now, you can sort of see the fluctuations of the conversion rate and so on. And I can really go and see, what's happening in the different sessions. So I could see, for example, for this particular one I'm looking at, January last year, the numbers of sessions are about the same. The traffic hadn't changed. The traffic hasn't really changed actually month per month at all, except in one form in June last year, they had double the amount of visitors to their website than they had June this year. So what were they doing differently? That's the sort of first thing I'd be looking at. Then look at the add to cart rate, which is the sort of next column along, and it's telling me that the added to cart, so that this particular person, interesting here, this particular person had the same amount of sessions in January this time last year as well as this year, but their added to cart was more than double last year. So something is going on that they've tweaked and changed in between, because their add to cart rate has dropped dramatically in that time. And that's sort of been quite consistent from what I can see here as well. So what were they doing what did their website look like, or what were they doing in between that their add to cart rate has, more than halved in the one year to the next? And same thing with reach checkout. It's dropped right down. Sessions converted has dropped right down as well. So there's big changes this year compared to last. And so I'd be looking at, what have they done differently on their website for that to happen? Have they removed reviews? Have they changed the colors? Have they, changed the template in between? I don't know, all the different things that possibly have been done. Go back and check what they are. So really not just looking at your online store conversion, which clearly is a good thing to know, but all the details of it too, like really trying to dive into it. And I know that this is something that a lot of people don't have time for. A lot of people are like, I don't have time to scratch myself. I don't have time to be doing this. But this is a super, super important thing to be looking at, because you can do all the work on your content. You can, put money into Facebook ads. You can spend all the time getting your product ready. But if no one's actually buying on your website, then it's a waste of time. So this is a really important thing to know and to try and work on and to focus on, because if you can change your conversion rate, all the other work you're doing to get traffic to you is going to have more impact. So it is a really important thing to actually spend time on and understand and know. And as I said, I've just talked about the online store conversion rate in this topic today because I just wanted to give you that little snippet. If you don't have a Shopify website, you can still get the analytics. They're just not going to be positioned and laid out in exactly the same way. Everyone has them in different locations. But essentially, you're looking at, let's say the total number of visitors to your website, how many added to cart. If you can see that, divide that by each other. And then, the conversion rate is clear. Like if you got 2 orders out of 100 people visited, your conversion rate is 2%. So it's like how many people actually checked out and finished compared to how many people arrived. That's your conversion rate. So knowing what those things are, understanding that part of your business, it takes little small tweaks in all the different analytics of your website to help you increase sales and have an impact on your sales. There's no point sending more traffic to your website if you cannot convert people. So focus on this as a area that is really important to actually move the needle in your business, to actually have impact on your business, and know what yours is and know what you can do to change it and to tweak it and really impact it. If you want the how on that, like what it looks like to do and how to actually do it, that's the sort of things that I teach in my programs to keep it really easy for people who don't have high-tech skills. They don't have a website developer that can, they can spend thousands of dollars on getting them to do the things for them. Shopify make it really easy for you to do these things yourself. And also there's lots of information out there to help you do it yourself. You don't have to get someone to pay thousands of dollars to make these tweaks and changes. It's definitely not necessary for this sort of product as well. So again, a reason why I think it's a good platform. All right, so I hope that helps you figure out, like, maybe go and have a look at what yours is, what your, how it's changed over time. What are some different things that you've done? Has it impacted it? Has it helped it? Has it made it worse? You obviously don't want to make all these changes all at once and you don't know which things actually worked. That scientific experiment, you've got to make sure you only tweak little things at a time to help you understand what's actually working. And yeah, go and check it out, understand what yours is, understand where there might be a problem. As I said, the particular one I'm looking at right this second, their add to cart rate isn't bad, but their reach checkout is low. So what's going on in between there? What can they do to really make those differences? And I would go and review and look at their website, look at that process. Take that customer journey as if you are buying from them. What does it look like? What are some things that come up and what are some barriers that come up to you? Like, oh, wow, I didn't know I was doing that. I didn't know that that was an issue. Oh, I didn't know that the shipping was showing up like that, and so on. There could be lots of things in there that are taking place that can have an impact. I hope that's been helpful, and I look forward to getting some feedback from everyone and seeing what yours is, and if you've surprised by what it looks like, or if you are just wanting to work on it and figuring out how to do it, let me know and I can help you out there. Right, speak to you soon. Bye. Thank you so much for listening to the Lotco Business Podcast. If you enjoyed this episode, please make sure you subscribe to receive future episodes as they are released. And I'd be so grateful for a review on Apple Podcast. If you would like a copy of the show notes or any of the links mentioned today, please jump onto my website at thelotco.com.au/podcast. Have an amazing week, and I look forward to chatting to you again soon.